Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. We are from Group 11 and my name is Muhammad Buhari bin Sayyid. In today's presentation, the focus is on the corruption of knowledge in the contemporary Muslim world, a concept developed most clearly by Said Muhammad Naqib al-Atas and further elaborated by Abdul Hamid Abu Sulaiman. In simple terms, corruption of knowledge means that Islamic knowledge is distorted, misused, or mixed with foreign ideas in a way that confuses Muslims about their own worldview and weakens their attachment to authentic Islamic values. Al-Attas argues that this crisis begins with the loss of adab, meaning the loss of proper discipline, ethics, and the ability to put everything in its right place, especially in relation to Allah, knowledge, and authority. When adab is lost, definition become confused, truth and falsehood are mixed, and false leaders emerge in intellectual, religious, and social spheres. Abu Sulaiman, on the other hand, described this as the crisis in the Muslim mind, rooted in blind imitations, intellectual stagnation, and the failure to integrate sound reasoning, which is akal, with divine revelation, which is wahyu, within a coherent methodology. The effects of this corruption can be seen today in widespread misinformation about Islam, weak and fragmented institutions, identify crises among Muslim youth, and the erosion of moral integrity in public life. Our analysis used the ideas of Al-Attas and Abu Sulaiman, together with insight from other Muslim scholars, to examine both the philosophical roots and practical manifestation of this problem, including concrete examples from contemporary Muslim societies. In particular, it highlights how the loss of adab, confusion of key concepts, and uncritical adoption of secular and materialistic paradigms have affected Islamic education and leadership, with IIUM as an illustrative case.
Corruption of knowledge begins when people lose their adab, when respect and responsibility in learning disappear. Our approach to knowledge becomes weak. This weak foundation opens the way for meaning to get mixed up. Slowly, people become unsure about what is true and knowledge loses its clarity. Loss of adab is not just about manners. It is about forgetting the right place of the teacher, students, and the knowledge itself. When adab fades, people stop valuing wisdom. They chase information without understanding, and this makes their thinking shallow. From this weakness, confusion of definition starts to appear. People use words without knowing their exact meaning. Even simple terms become unclear. When definitions are confused, discussions become messy and truth becomes harder to see. After that, people start accepting ideas from outside without proper thinking. This is the uncritical adoption of external paradigms. They take concepts that may not fit their own worldview. Just because those ideas look modern or popular, this creates more confusion and push knowledge further away from its true purpose. All these problems are connected. Loss of adab weakens our heart, confusion of definition weakens the mind, and uncritical adoption weakens our understanding of reality. When these combine, knowledge becomes corrupted.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullah. I am Khanukar Muhammad Ali Hassan. My metric number is 2420355. Today I am going to talk about real life examples. The corruption of knowledge is not just a philosophical concept. We see its impact in our daily lives through four clear examples from the digital age. First, the viral spread of unverified Islamic content on social media. Every day we see religious quotes, hadiths, and Islamic advice being shared across platforms like Facebook, YouTube, and so on. The problem is that these often go viral because they are emotionally appealing, not because they are authentic. This reflects what Al-Attas called the loss of adab, where we have lost the discipline and respect for truth that should accompany knowledge sharing. Second, the circulation of religious fake news and hoaxes. During times of crisis or controversy, false stories about miracles, religious warnings, or political claims spread rapidly. While Islam teaches us tabayun to verify information before sharing, this principle is often ignored. As Abu Sulaiman noted, this weakness in our intellectual practices allows misinformation to influence community behavior. Third, the misinterpretation of Islamic teachings online. Many hadiths and religious explanations are shared in shortened or out of context forms across digital platforms. When separated from their original sources and scholarly context, these teachings can easily mislead people, especially those without the tools to verify religious information independently. And fourth, the emerging threat of AI-generated religious content. With artificial intelligence, we now face a new challenge: completely fabricated sermons, fatwas, and religious advice that look authentic. These AI-generated contents can be so convincing that they erode trust in genuine Islamic scholarship and create confusion about authentic teachings. What connects all these examples is a common pattern: the breakdown of verification, the disregard for proper sources, and the loss of ethical responsibility in handling knowledge.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Abdullah Muklis bin Muhammad Azam. Metric number 2218949, and today I will be continuing the crisis in the IIM context. So the International Islamic University of Malaysia was built on a beautiful and ambitious vision, which is to combine the Islamic worldview, ilmu, and also adab with modern academic excellence. So the goal was to produce a holistic scholar who are not just smart but morally upright and socially unfilled. But today we have to ask a difficult question: is that vision being realized? To answer the question, recent studies suggest that despite our mission, IOM is facing a multifaceted crisis. It is a crisis happening on two critical front, which is the academic level and the social level. And if we don't address, it will risk the very scholar we are trying to raise. Next, I continue with the academic structural crisis. First, let's look at the academic crisis, which is the research by Hashim and colleges indicate that there are structural constraints and on academic freedom within the university. Many scholars report feeling intimidated or fearful of consequences if they discuss sensitive or controversial topic. So, why does this matter? It is because when lecturer hold back, knowledge become sanitized. So, it discourages critical inquiry and deep thinking to verify the ijtihad that is essential for Islamic education. So instead of rigorous debate, students receive safe surface level information. So this is an epistemic crisis that we aren't just losing administrative freedom, but we are risking the integrity of the knowledge itself. So we continue with the social communal crisis. We face a social communal crisis in IOM is incredibly diverse, but diversity doesn't automatically mean unity. A recent 2025 study highlight that we are struggling to build true social solidarity in the Ummah. Students are reporting prejudice, language barrier, and a tendency to stick to their own ethnic or national clique. The study found that many university programs lack of clear objective to bridge this gap. So they often exist just to fill a timetable but not to build a trust. The result, we are producing graduates who are technically qualified but who may lack the empathy, unity, and the communal responsibility necessary to lead the global ummah.
Hello everyone, I am Asfar Azwan, metric number 2310763. I will be presenting the proposed solution part of our paper. We have identified two major crises at IIUM: the corruption of knowledge in the academy and the crisis of social solidarity among students. Our solutions are holistic, targeting the very soul of the institution, its epistemology, its methodology, and its ethos. First, we must enact epistemological redefinition based on Syed Muhammad Naqib Al-Attas. The root of knowledge corruption is the secularization of definition. Our ultimate solution is ta'adib, the holistic education that instills true knowledge and adab. We propose making the Islamic metaphysical worldview, Tawheed, the foundational lens for all professional knowledge. This directly addresses the ultimate corruption by purging secular connotation from core concepts like justice and progress. Secondly, there must be mandatory integration of Wahyu, Quran and Sunnah into all syllabi to dismantle the separation between religion and non-religious knowledge as called for by Al-Attas. Second, we require methodological revitalization to address the intellectual stagnation highlighted by Abdul Hamid Abu Sulaiman. The solution is a return to critical ijtihad. We propose establishing inter-faculty centers for critical ijtihad that mandate collaboration between Sharia scholars and modern experts. This implements Abu Sulaiman's call for a dynamic ijtihadic framework that applies Islam in a time-space context. To address the academic structural crisis, the university must cultivate responsible academic freedom. Academics must encourage to engage in critical discourse to develop the intellectual rigor necessary for the ummah. Third, we must address the moral social reconstruction. The social fragmentation is a practical failure stemming from the loss of adab. We propose strategic ta'aruf, mutual knowing, programs with clear ummati objectives to actively foster social solidarity, mutual respect and empathy among diverse students. Finally, to counter digital corruption, by Muhammad and Yusuf 2025, we must mandate digital ethics workshop that teach the Islamic principle of tabayyun, curbing the intellectual anarchy Al-Attas warned about. By implementing these holistic reforms across epistemology, methodology, and social conduct, IIUM can directly confront the multifaceted corruption of knowledge, restore its intellectual integrity, and fulfill its founding vision.
In conclusion, our analysis found that the corruption of knowledge in the Muslim world is not a minor issue, but a civilizational crisis that prevents the Ummah from realizing true justice and harmony with Allah, humanity, and the environment. When knowledge is distorted, Muslims forget their covenant with Allah and fail to act as Khalifa in coherent and meaningful way. Drawing on contemporary Muslim scholars, the study identifies three root causes of this crisis, which is first, epistemological corruption, the loss of adab, and the stagnation of ijtihad. These three failures distort the Islamic worldview and undermine sound judgment. At IIUM, limited academic freedom and the gap between ideals and practice risk reducing the university to an institution Islamic only in appearance, producing graduates who are skilled but morally fragmented. Therefore, the proposed reforms are framed as an urgent process of ta'dib, not superficial policy adjustment. IIUM must simultaneously realign its epistemology with the Islamic worldview, invigorate its method of inquiry and ijtihad, and rebuild its moral culture around adab. By integrating academic rigor with spiritual discipline, IIM can once again form graduates who are intellectually clear, ethically rooted, and capable of guiding the Muslim world out of its current civilizational crisis. That's all from us. Thank you.